In our working years, a lot of critical priorities can get laid to the wayside. Heaven forbid that you don't spend time with your children. That would be a disaster. Heaven forbid you don't spend time with your spouse. Heaven forbid you don't make time for godly pursuits. But once those things are in place, we all, no matter what age, no matter what stage, need to focus on our health. Hey folks, this is Colin Richards. I'm president and founder of Lord & Richards, and once again, I'm excited to be in this particular episode of the Lord & Richards Show. And we're in a little mini-series on how to maximize your lifestyle in retirement. We're talking about before, during, and today in this episode, I'm going to talk about during retirement. So we've already talked a little bit about during your working years in a prior segment. Now I'm going to shift gears and talk about your favorite segment, which is retirement, when you're no longer needing to work. When you've worked together with a financial planner at Lord & Richards and determined, hey, I am ready to retire. I'm ready to set aside my work schedule. And I've been practicing in the years leading up. I've been maximizing my financial independence lifestyle even during my working years. Now I'm ready to really take off. So the first positive here is that time is no longer a constraint for you, right? You have now a clean slate before you. And so there are a couple of priorities I want you to focus on during these critical retirement years. So number one, even though time is no longer a constraint, you know this, right? You've read the articles, but I'm going to remind you, don't just sit around, right? What people quickly discover is if they don't have a plan around their retirement, if they don't develop a schedule, even during retirement, then your life begins to lack purpose and meaning and value. And a lot of folks who put themselves in that position, because it's not mandatory, folks who put themselves in that position are going to discover that their health declines and their life span is shortened as a result. Study after study shows that leading a sedentary lifestyle is going to destroy your physical health. So find an active group of friends. If your friends are passive and like to sit around and watch TV, frankly, find some new friends that will get up and go. Friends that enjoy getting out, having a great time together. Look to your church for your social network. Clubs. How about coming to Lord & Richards Wealth and Wisdom events? These are events open to you. If you're retirement age and you want to just connect with people, even if you're not a client, we'd love for you to come. Just call our office. Wealth and Wisdoms at Lord & Richards take on a lot of different forms, but usually we go someplace fun like the aquarium or car museums or on and on it goes. Baseball games downtown. We get our group together, and then I spend just a little bit of that time teaching the group about one or more principles of financial independence. So wherever you go, develop an active social network of people of like mind who want to get up and go and keep moving. And then take on new learning and growth challenges. My clients who are the most fulfilled are pursuing new challenges. My wife has Inspire Music Arts down in the Centennial area. It's an academy for teaching adults and children music. All kinds of different instruments, including voice, piano, harp, strings, guitar, on it goes. And they have a number of adult students who have taken up music in their retirement years, or maybe picked it back up after setting it aside during those busy working lifestyle years. Or maybe you want to learn a foreign language. Maybe you're thinking about going somewhere overseas and want to develop a little bit of vocabulary around that. On it goes. Find something that really fascinates you and pour yourself into it, not just leisure. And then, as I started to talk about at the beginning, schedule that unscheduled day. Revel in the fact that you don't have to set an alarm unless you've got a specific place to be, like a golf tee time. You can wake up naturally, which is a fantastic way to wake up, and then build a schedule for your day. Even though it's loose, it's not going to be the tyranny of the urgent like in your work environment that you used to work in. But have a schedule. Hey, I'm going to have my quiet time in the morning. If you know and walk with the Lord, you can spend time with the Lord. Spend time in the Word. Spend time in prayer, meditating on and praying for those that you love in your life. Move on to have a happy and a joy-filled morning that involves exercise. If you don't work exercise in, we're going to talk about that in a minute, then you're missing out. And then work in other things like social time. time in your garden, time pursuing your hobbies. Schedule it out. You say, I don't want to have a schedule. Well, the problem is that which doesn't get scheduled rarely gets done, right? And it's not that we're trying to push ourselves to be overachievers in retirement, but again, it's that focus on active learning, growth, activity. And then the second priority, once we get our time figured out and kind of what our lifestyle is going to look like, then focus on your health. And again, I'm not telling you something new, but I am telling you something that I've had to discover for myself, because in our working years, a lot of critical priorities can get laid to the wayside. Heaven forbid that you don't spend time with your children. That would be a disaster. Heaven forbid you don't spend time with your spouse. Heaven forbid you don't make time for godly pursuits. But once those things are in place, we all, no matter what age, no matter what stage, need to focus on our health. And as we get older, 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, we need to prioritize at least three things. And I want to give those to you today. Number one, prioritize your mobility. You know, a lot of times I've talked on this show about the importance of building muscle and of strength, and that is vitally important. But there's got to be a balance. To never lift anything, to never put strain on your muscles so that they grow and adapt is going to hinder you long term. That muscle tissue is vital for longevity. Study after study has been shown. So don't just do cardio type exercises. But on the other hand, we can swing too far. So we've got to have a balance of strength and mobility. That means stretching. That means rolling. That means being careful not to overdo it, right? Work with a personal trainer if you like. I used to hang out with a bunch of people that are actually about 20 years older than me, and I'd head up to Aspen Park and spend time there with a great group of people. But they were all focused on strength and mobility, not injuring ourselves. Secondly, prioritize longevity. Prioritize longevity. There are things you can do, especially around sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things. Warren Buffett just turned 94. He's got the worst diet known to man. He says, I eat like a 6-year-old. He drinks 5 Cokes a day. He can often start breakfast with an Egg McMuffin or a biscuit from McDonald's. He doesn't eat well, but he gets 8 hours of sleep, and he's 94 and sharp as a tack, running one of the largest companies in the world. So focus on and study those things which give longevity, like getting good sleep, like the proper kind of diet, right? Because if we're eating things that are going to hinder us, I know Warren Buffett got away with it, but imagine how long he could live if his diet was great and if he was exercising. And then prioritize, thirdly, quality of life, developing a stress-free attitude. Stress is terrible, and it will shorten your life, and it will ruin your retirement years. And so distance yourself from people who are constantly bringing up negativity, especially those who are just consumed with what's going on in the news, right? At Lord & Richards, we have televisions on the wall. There's no news playing on those televisions. There are beautiful scenes of tranquil locations around the world designed to encourage you to be stress-free and relaxed. That's going to be one of the keys to enjoying a long financial independence lifestyle in retirement. In our next segment, I'm going to focus in on one of my favorite topics because my clients love to do it. It's a topic that 82% of people say they want to have more of in their life. So come back in my next segment. In the meantime, give us a call. I would love to chat with you. My team and I would love to surround you, enable you to develop that written plan so you can enjoy all the things that we're talking about in financial independence. It just starts with a simple phone call.